Hello and welcome to the shed. In today's video we're going to be having a look at the overview video for the Traveller's Toolkit. Hope you enjoy. So this is going to be a new video series where we look at the overview video today of all these tools that are in the kit. Then I'm going to do some dedicated videos on each individual tool so I can give you some different ideas of what's available, what you could use, what I use, and I'll leave links and things to all of that just so you've got a much better idea of what it is that I use and what you could use if you don't have what I have. I'll also be talking about some of those vintage tools and things as well, so I'll give you some options there of new, vintage, all that sort of thing, and give you exact names of what it is that I'm using. And then we're going to put it all together into the most advanced toolkit that we've made here. So it's going to use a lot more joinery techniques. We're going to have drawers, we're going to just have a lot more going in there, dust seals, recessed hinges, all that sort of thing. So we're going to be putting together everything that we've learned in beginner videos that I've done in the beginner series and all that sort of thing together to make this. Now the whole purpose of this video is to have this entire toolkit in one toolbox, and so you can do the majority, if not all, of your woodworking that you want to do. So what I've done is I've tried to keep the weight down. I've tried to keep the tools to a bare minimum. Where there's a tool that can do multiple tasks, I've included that. And I have included a couple of dedicated planes in here just because they make the tasks so much easier and you can use them for a wide variety of things. So our marking and layout tools here are actually very basic. We've got a square, we have a ruler, we have a marking knife, pencil, pen, biro, mechanical pencil, all options for you. Along with that, you might want to have a pencil sharpener and a razor. I've just kept that out of here because you can sharpen this using a chisel. Then we have a pair of dividers which make laying out your dovetails a lot easier. A couple of dovetail mark out jigs here. A couple of marking gauges because they just make everything a lot easier, and if you can fit two, go for two because two's just going to make your life a lot easier. And along with this I have a tape measure. This one happens to be my flat backed one for marking out at the bench, so you can use that for measuring and the length of stuff on projects and whatnot, so it kind of has a dual purpose. And then I just have a basic little level that I've included in here as well because that'll help when you try and level things up if you want to hang them and stuff, so I've just included that as part of this kit as well. So what I've got here is 4 Japanese chisels. I've chosen sizes that I use quite commonly and I've got them down to the most bare bone basics. I do prefer a larger chisel set with more options to choose what it is, what you're doing when you're doing it, but this will get you started and get you going, something of this size, and you're not going to get this in a pre-made kit, so I recommend that if you can, get some individual chisels because then you can sort of tailor that set a little better. So I have a 15mm chisel here, I have a 25mm chisel, I have a 10mm chisel, and this one down here is, I believe it was a 4 or 5mm chisel. So it's quite a small chisel, which is very useful when you're doing sliding dovetails and normal dovetails to get in there and remove that waste. Wide one for marking out things, it's just much quicker having that wider chisel, which is very useful when you really need it. Now, I've chosen the Japanese ones here. You don't have to have Japanese ones, but you do want a chisel that has a little ferrule on the back. Now, this isn't set in stone, but I have chosen a ball peen hammer here on purpose. Now, it means that I can have one metal hammer. I can use it for hitting nails in, with blocks of wood for putting the joinery together. It's peening ability if you need to peen over some little bits of metal and things here and there. And so that's why I've gone with this. Now, with the Japanese chisels, they're designed to be hit with a metal hammer. So that's why I've chosen a metal one. Now, I just want to give you a quick option that if you don't have chisels that you want to hit with a metal hammer, you could put both hammers in here and just go with like a nylon faced one like this one. But I think the ability to hit in nails and other bits of metal and stuff is kind of important, so I think you definitely want to have a metal hammer, but in my case I've chosen my chisels that allow me to go with the one hammer, so that's something you need to think about. So this brings me into sawing, and there is quite a bit of flexibility here. So I do have one other panel saw here off camera, and I'll mention that in a minute. So, coping saw. I think it's vital that we have a coping saw or a fret saw. Speeds up doing some circular operations, dovetails if you want to use it for that. Now, where the flexibility comes in here, I have a dovetail saw, rip cut, and I have a tenon saw here, rip cut. Now, if you're not doing larger joinery, you might not need the full-size tenon saw in here, and that might allow you to get away with a smaller kit here. So it's really up to you if you want to use a full-size tenon saw here and include it. I'm including it because it is useful when you're actually sawing wider boards to actually have the wider plate, and both of these are in a rip cut. Now, I do have a panel saw, as I mentioned before. Now, this panel saw is obviously not a restored one. It's not one I've used before. It's one that I intend to restore, and I got this one because it's quite a short saw. From tip of the hook to the front here is 630 millimeters. Now, you might not want to include a short panel saw in here. You could do, if you want it to be a complete kit, including a panel saw is probably a good option. The other option is you don't keep that in your saw chest and you sort of keep it separate, attached to the chest on the outside so you can get a smaller chest. Or you can use a hatchet to take waste material down. Instead of using a saw like this to rip it down the length, you can remove most of your waste with something like this, and when we get onto the hand planes, I'll show you another option that you can use there to actually finish that work off. That's a little bit of the choice that you have as to what you want to choose. Now, for the kit, I'm probably going to include the hatchet in there. Why not? I might as well. And probably keep the panel saw in there, so that's going to dictate how long my tool chest is. But I just wanted to give you a few options. If you're not as wide across the shoulders and don't want to carry such a wide chest, I just wanted to give you that option of a couple of different ideas for shrinking that size down. If you want to hear some more about the hatchet, do let me know in the comments. I might make a couple of videos on how I'd work that into my workflow if that's something you've not seen before. So now we move into the hand planes. I've chosen the number 5 because I believe that's the most versatile, at least for me, in my mind. I've got a spare iron here with a radius on it. So this one is going to be used for rough removal along with that hatchet that I mentioned before, if that's something you want to use. And then I've also included a block plane here. This is interchangeable. You could have a number 4 here if you want, and that's entirely up to you in this particular situation. I've purposely gone with a Bailey here rather than a newer variant because these are a lot lighter, and I'm all about keeping the weight down in this kit, and so that's why I've chosen a bevel down Bailey for this. It's really up to you. If you want to have the extra weight, go for it. If it's something that's staying in your workshop, you don't have to move it around. Maybe you could have a heavier one in there. That's really up to you. Then I've included the plow plane. The plow plane is included in here for a very, very good reason. It's because it speeds up any plowing activities where you want to do a groove. These are just so much faster than trying to do it with a chisel and a saw. And yes, you could, but if we've got one of these and we can fit it in, it's not very heavy, it's fairly small, fairly compact, and so I'm choosing to include that. Along with that, I'm also including a full-size router plane. We have so much versatility that we can use a router, especially a large router plane like this for. You could, if you wanted to, include a little tiny dinky one as well if you wanted to, but most of the time I find that the large router can do most of what a small one can do anyway, so I'm just going to include the one router plane, and it's just got the standard sort of 12mm wide blade in it, I believe it is, and I prefer this style because it's much lighter than the modern ones with the heavier steel. These compact ones with the L-shaped blades are just, they're really nice, comfortable, easy, compact, and work well, so that's why I've chosen this style. So in here we're going to be looking at the sharpening stuff first. So I've got my 3 Atoma stones here along with a strop. I should have a stick of honing compound in here, and I've got the Veritas honing jig in here. If you don't need the honing jig, you can get rid of that. I like it here. I like to use it, so it's in here. I know a lot of you like that jig as well. There's a few other bits that go along with sharpening, which we'll have a look when we actually just get onto a few of these finishing tools that I've got over here. So the other thing I've got in here is 4 F-clamps. I think it's useful in any toolkit to keep a few F-clamps around, take them with you, so that's another thing that's included in here. And if you do include a 600 wide long saw, it does give you a little bit of leeway if you want to put maybe a 600 long sash clamp or something like that in there, if you can find one of that length. I don't have any at that length, but I do know some of them come around that length, so you might be able to fit that in there if you want to make it a little bit longer to fit that. That's something you could do if you wanted to include a few light aluminium sash clamps. Then in here we obviously need to run some screws, drive bits, so we've got drills for our holes. This is just a wood twist bit kit, and then this is just a little basic driver kit. We'll go into a little more detail in the individual videos when we get to that. Now, we've got a little flexibility here. I'm including the egg beater drill in this. It actually has some of its own drill bits in the back here, but I still like the full kit for the larger diameter of some stuff we might do. So you can either include the egg beater drill, or if you really want to, you can include your battery drill in here. You'll have to try and work out how that fits into your kit if that's something you want to include, whether you keep it separate or you actually put it inside your tool chest. That is really up to you. I do like the battery drill. It does have a lot of benefits, but since this was a hand tool kit, I've decided to forego including that in this particular kit, as I normally do mention it, but this time I'm just going to exclude it. And then along with that, I've just got a basic Phillips head and flat-headed screwdriver. Although you can use the drill with the bits to drive stuff, hand tool kit here, screwdriver, Phillips. For whatever size screws you've got, you might need a few more than the two that I've got here. These were just what I had on hand, so they'll go in here, and if I do have a few others, I'd include that as well. So then we've just got a little bit of shaping and finishing tools here, and this rounds up the last part of the kit. So we've just got a flat single cut mill file known as a bastard file. I have a needle nose rasp here, just an inexpensive one, and then another rasp here. This one happens to be the Shinto rasp, but you can choose what mixture of tools you want here. This sort of does pretty good for most of your shaping needs, in my opinion. Then over here in the finishing, I've just got a roll of 240 grit sandpaper. You could have some more aggressive sandpaper in here if you want, but what I'm using along with that is card scrapers. Various shapes, types, brands, it doesn't really matter as long as you've got some, and obviously we can prepare that up. And I said that we needed one other thing in the sharpening area, and that's the burnisher or AccuBurr, depending on what you prefer. I prefer the large burnisher here, but something of this size or whatever to actually roll the burr on your card scrapers for your finishing work. So that rounds up the overview of the toolkit that I've chosen that we're going to go into the series with. Now, obviously, there are other tools that I can include. I've got an entire shed full of tools here, and I could include a lot of different tools if I want to. And that's why I wanted to give you just a few options in a few areas as to what you can choose. And there really is a lot more flexibility, and I'll get into that in dedicated videos on each of these tools. So what I want from you is I'd love your inclusions as to what you would include in this kit. If there's something vital that I've missed here that means that I couldn't actually do practically any joinery, any woodworking that I wanted to, do let me know, because obviously I've got some inclusions here that some of you have mentioned in the past when I went through the beginner kit. But what do you got to bear in mind? This is not our beginner kit. This is the bare bones basic kit for doing everything. So if you like this video, do hit the thumbs up below. Really does help the channel out more than you know. While you're down there, do hit that subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that little sub notification bell and select all so you don't miss any videos. And if you'd like to see another great video such as the one you've seen here today, do check out the video just here below me, which will be on the very first dedicated video, and that'll be on the marking knife. Bye for now.